All right. So I'm doing a quick tough talk because shit seems really hard and people are really scared right now. Um, Donald Trump is the president-elect of the United States. Like, are we, like, is that even a real thing that I have to say right now? It's just a couple things I want to go over with y'all because I love y'all and I want you that somebody's here with you and I want to try to articulate feelings that many of you have. I want to make sure that we are aware of what's going on and how we need to move forward. Um, First of all, let's be very clear here that hate won. The people that voted for this man, they were not voting for anything. They were voting against Hispanics and, you know, Syrian refugees and Black Lives Matter and against the LGBTQIA community and, you know, just they were just voting against anything that didn't encompass white capitalism. And I want to be very clear about that because what you're gonna hear is that, oh, there are some Christian values there, but let's not do that, okay? Let's not mince our words on this very, very sad day in American democracy, okay? There was nothing Christian about the man who was elected for president, okay? He is full of ego. Christ was not like that. He does not seek forgiveness from our Lord. Okay? He is all about money and material things. That is the antithesis of who our Christ was. And you can say, oh, what about abortion and marriage should be between a man and a woman? So you're going to be a one-issue voter, a two-issue voter. Now look at the fact that Christ was a socialist, that he fed people, that he healed people. That's right. That's free health care. That's free health care. That is welfare services. The fact that Christ sought out for people to be accepting for one another and not build up walls but to break them down amongst communities and peoples of different backgrounds. Like, so don't give me that you voted for something that was Christian when all you did was vote the antithesis of everything that Jesus Christ stood for, and all you did was vote anti anything that wasn't familiar to you in this whitewashed capitalistic fucking country. It's crazy because everybody's talking about they're leaving, okay? And I had a conversation with a friend of mine today, and it breaks my heart because for her own personal reasons, not so much dealing with the president-elect, but just other things like the repeal of health care, she, for life and death reasons, really may have to leave the country. And that kills me. But those of you who are talking about you're leaving, be lucky, because we have the option to leave. We are mobile. We have the option to get passports and whatever the fuck else. We have people who have so little they can't even fucking leave Flint, Michigan, and their water is killing them. So remember your privilege as you talk about you're leaving this country due to this. Stick around. Do something that matters because we need each other now more than ever. Okay? So just stop it with that. Just stop it with that. The thing that terrifies me, there are a lot of things that terrify me about this, but the thing that terrifies me is the fact that, like, history repeats itself, right? And I'm waiting for the linchpin of what's going to push us into war or into the human race wiping itself, wiping a third of its population out again. Maybe that's good for the you know, ecosystem. Maybe that's good for the earth. But, like, what does that mean for us? Because this is what we've done. We see these small, little terrifying things happening across the world, and they seem isolated. You know, the Brexit happened, and I told you motherfuckers in the very first Tub Talk, pay attention, America. Vote. Pay attention. Wake the fuck up and pay attention at what's happening in the UK, because in a couple of months we're going to do the same shit, and if you don't vote, we're going to be in the same predicament, and I'd be goddamned if we're not in the same predicament. But so we see things like the Brexit happen, and that seems like That's isolated. And then we see things like now this asshole is the president-elect. And okay, that's isolated. And fucking Putin's in power. And that's isolated. But what's going to be the linchpin? Because let's be honest, there are in countries like Turkey, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, there are other leaders who are building a cult following around them the same way Putin and Trump have. And if they get into power, what's going to bring all that together until we fucking implode on ourselves? Wake up. We have got to be mobile. We have got to organize. Because this shit is so real right now. I don't know what our next step is. I do know that we need to plan for our next election. I do know that we need to organize to ensure that we have somebody who is ready to take over the title of Commander-in-Chief. I do know that you lazy ass motherfuckers who didn't vote, make sure you get out there and vote. I don't give a damn if you don't like a presidential candidate. You know what you need to do? You need to vote locally because the Senate and the House are also Republican. There is no sense of checks and balances in this country right now. The Oval Office, the Senate, the House, and pretty soon our highest court will all be Republican. And that's because so many of you did not vote. Yes, so many people did vote for him, but so many of you didn't. Shame on you. We also, as we look ahead, we need to figure out what we can do in the now. Because there are people who look like me, who are sexual assault survivors, who are persons of color, who are immigrants, women, gay, trans, who are scared. And they're scared right now. We can plan, but right now, what can we do to ensure that there are safe spaces for people that's physically, that's emotionally? We need to figure that out right now. We need to come together and we need to organize for that. And we need to make sure that we're doing that now. I'm scared. I have 2 young black girls and I am scared for them. I am scared because unfortunately for me, my difference is as clear as day on my skin. And the racists and the bigots have been emboldened by their candidate, by the president-elect, to just say whatever the fuck they want to say in public places. And so for me, I'm scared to walk out of my house now with my 2 young girls because my difference is real clear. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to run. A friend of mine posted something that she just articulated my feelings so well. She said, I feel disgusted and I have cried, but I thought about leaving, but I'm not leaving because the same ancestors who died for my right to vote, they also built this country, and I will be damned if I have to beg for a seat at the table that I fucking built. We built this fucking table. We built this nation, and it is our job to stay here, to rebuild it, to protect it, and to ensure that everybody else has a seat around it. So how do we do that? I don't have any answers right now. I'm furious. I'm scared for what this means globally. But I know that now is not the time to be paralyzed. Now is the time to organize for resistance. We have about, what, 2.5 months? My birthday is January 20th. It will be the worst fucking birthday, I swear. But we got about 2.5 months to organize and get our shit together because the resistance needs to happen. And if that means that you're going to be holding safe spaces for persecuted persons to feel safe and to decompress, then that's what you do. If that means that you are ready to be out in the streets and sacrifice yourself, then that's what you do. But we need to organize. I have 2 final thoughts. First, I don't think anybody thinks that I was a fan of Hillary Clinton, because I am not a fan of Hillary Clinton. The same way I fight for liberation here for us, I fight for liberation across the world, and I don't like that she's a warmonger and it has dropped bombs on innocent people, and it's okay with doing those types of things, right? So I was never a really big fan of hers. And I'm not going to get into finger pointing about what I thought should have happened in the primaries and how the outcome of this election could have been turned, although I'm pretty sure the shirt that I'm wearing lets you know where I stand on that. But now's not the time because we're all mourning. But I will say this, because I'm a human being, because I can understand the humanity and what's going on. I feel bad for Secretary Clinton right now. I cannot imagine how it must feel to know that people dislike you so much and dislike an image of who they think you are. Because I don't know her, and many of you don't. Most of you don't. But there is such a deep disdain and dislike for her. And as a human being, I feel so bad for how she must feel right now. Compassion is something I will never lose through this movement, through this resistance. My last piece is, I was talking to my husband and my mom, and I just say, we have to look to our elders. I asked my mom how she was doing this morning. She was like, oh, I'm fine. Obviously, she doesn't want Donald Trump in office, but she's been through this, right? Like, she felt this way when Reagan was elected, right? And she kept going, and she came out the other side of it, and she's fine. And she said, and she goes, yeah, it's gonna be hard. Like, some things are gonna be really shitty, but it's not, like, and the world seems like it's on fire. She said, but we can put it out. Let's look to our elders. My mom's sense of calm this morning, it really eased my fears, because she's right. The world is on fire, but we can put it out. And just remember that. We just have to be vigilant. We have to organize. We have to be determined. We have to be steadfast. And we have to just keep moving. But we can put it out. I love y'all. Persons of color, be very aware in all the spaces in which you occupy today and from here on out. Because your skin color right now is a target. If you need anything, you know how to reach me. I'll see you next time. Keep sipping.